Shazam issue 1. Geoff Johns, Dale Eaglesham on the art, and then I'll tell you who the backup is when we get there. Yeah, so this actually does kind of follow on from the Johns, Gary Frank.
Yeah, I feel like I probably should have reread it. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Me too. And I had plans, and then this snuck up on me by the time that I was like, oh, I was going to read, but I'm going to dive into it.
I mean, I think it's fine without it. You get a couple of pages explaining the origin a little bit, and then it's like, oh yeah, a year later. So the idea is this is a year after that, the events of that story.
Yeah.
And we got Johns with Eaglesham on art. Art's very good. I'll say that first and foremost.
Oh yeah, it is.
Eaglesham, a lot like Frank, has a shorthand with Johns, and you can tell just by the way that everything flows.
There's certain panels actually that feel very Frankian, if that to use to make up a term.
But I feel because they're using his designs from that mini or from the backup, whatever we're calling it.
It was a backup in Justice League 1.
Are you thinking like that when Shazam first appears?
Yeah, there's a couple of the faces where it feels very, very Frank. Not every panel or every page, but there's some like that just feel very. I mean, that looks like Frank almost. It's a bit
Did anyone else think he gave Shazam quite the bulge in that first
I
page?
wasn't looking. He's a child.
I know, you pervert.
It's just.
He might look like a grown man, but he is still a child.
This is Connor's fault.
So I can't finish my thought that I was going to say about how much I love Freddy in this after this. So, but I really enjoy this version of Freddy because he's disabled, but he doesn't let that like dictate who he is.
I'm glad there was more of that sentence because you paused after you said he's disabled, and I thought, okay. That's a weird reason to like a character, but okay.
No, that's not his. It's like how you talk about Captain Holt on Brooklyn Nine-Nine about he's a gay man, but that's not his defining characteristic. He's the captain that's by the book. That's his, and that's with Freddy. He's still the jokester. He might be disabled, but that's not his defining characteristic.
So they're at a field trip with a school at a museum, and some robbers break in wearing goofy Justice League masks, and they Shazam it up, if you will. And I love the panel when the rest of the family show up. Actually, Mary especially looks really good.
Did you guys get worried when they were at the museum and you're like, oh no, it's John's, not Tomasi. We're in good hands.
Yeah.
At the museum.
Yeah.
It didn't cross my mind.
I never thought of it, but yeah, it's a good point. By the way, how long has Mary Marvel been referred to as Lady Shazam? Has that always been a thing, or is that?
No. It's always been Mary Marvel, but you really can't use that name right now. So
yeah, you can't have Mary Marvel if you don't have Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah. And I'm guessing is Freddy always been Shazam Jr.? I've always known him as Freddy.
Yes. He's been Captain Marvel Jr.
Captain Marvel Jr. Okay, right.
So it makes sense. Like you can't use that name, and they make that joke here. They don't let him finish saying Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and it's a double-sided joke as well, because on the one hand, it's the joke is that he can't say his name without turning back into a kid because it's Shazam, but it also works on a meta level. Hey, we can't say Captain Marvel anymore, so just go with it.
Yeah. That's pretty great. But I'm looking forward to see what we call the others. Too.
Yeah, because they don't have names yet. Like they have obviously, the Darla, Eugene, and Pedro, but they don't have.
Right.
There's even conflicting names on just as a team.
Yeah, what was it?
That was my favorite running joke.
The Thunder Bunch or whatever they started.
Yeah, there's the Lightning League.
There you go.
What was the Thunder one? Because that one was my favorite. Now I'm drawing a blank.
I'm trying to find it. What's the names? The Sparkly Friends, the Super Sorcerers, the Thunder Squad, the Philadelphia Wizards, the Magic Men, the Lightning League.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I hope
they go with the Philly Wizards.
I feel like, I don't know, go with like Thunder League or something. I don't know.
Thunder Squad.
Well, I like the fact that they're kids and they're trying to come up with a name for their group, But they're going to be the family, whatever it's going to be. It's like, and I like that the driving point of this book is they are that family, and that's always been, Marvel. They were always referred to as the Marvel family. So,
but we can't call them the Marvel family anymore.
No. So the Shazam family.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, this issue's pretty straightforward. They stop some bank robbers, some fun stuff. I like the joke with the cops where they're like, oh, we'll just say Superman did it.
Yeah.
Because they can't pick a name. Well, Superman did it, it's fine, just go home. But they're basically setting up their new base, which is where, you know, the train station where Billy kind of stumbled into Shazam in the first place.
Yeah, they're actually in the Rock of Eternity, though, aren't they? Because all the thrones are there.
But they call it the station. So they've got this. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
Yep, me too.
When they get the new abandoned subway station base. That's what it feels like to me.
It does. But I also like how they all finish eating dinner, and then they all run off to do their, quote, homework.
Yeah.
And they're exploring this area. And I like, again, Johns is great at world building. And here he's taken, in just this one issue, there's a so much bigger world to Shazam.
For the record, I think it's just that new area that's the station. They know the Rock of Eternity, and they call him the place in general that.
The Shazam family headquarters.
Yeah, but they're referring to that main bit they're using as their headquarters as the station, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I dig it. I even love they've got a trophy wall for all the conquest, but all they have right now is the mask from those robbers and like a report card that one of them has from school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it cracks me up.
It's Darla's too.
It's delightful. So it's a delightful jaunt through a new area of the DCU. I'm loving the family dynamics. It feels just right. They've got the magical train, which can take them into the Magic Lands.
I am looking forward to the Magic Lands.
Me too.
Yeah.
Here's my only issue with the book is it's following that John's formula of, hey, you know that thing you love? What if there's more of it? You know, like he did with Green Lantern.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
No, but it's kind of like, I don't want to say parody because it's not a parody, but it's definitely like, here's John's. He's going to explore it, and we're going to give you, you know, each of the. I feel like this is going that each of the family are going to have a different patron.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
which I'm fine with, because I feel like how long has it been since the Shazam family have had a chance to?
How long has it been since you've last seen the Shazam family?
Right.
Well, that backup in Justice League a few years ago.
Well, no, because the family, because Billy showed up in what was that, Trinity War, and
well, no, I think the last time
Darkseid.
I saw him in something that wasn't like a background thing. He was in issue 1 of Constantine at the start of Rebirth randomly.
Oof.
Or Hellblazer, that was called, but yeah.
Not a good place for
randomly.
For Shazam.
And then the cliffhanger at the end of the main story is Billy's apparent father shows up wanting to see him, throwing a wrench into this.
So Eaglesham, you know, so you know how they'll reference certain people when they're drawing characters.
Yeah.
This is Cavill, right?
Kinda.
He's got the spit curl. He's not as wide though, you know, like Cal's got those big wide shoulders.
Well, I mean, they could be just covered under the coat a little bit. I don't know.
True.
I look at the face. I'm just like, that looks like Cavill to me.
I mean, he could be Clark Gable too.
I like the touch that he's got a red scarf and then the white fuzzy hood because it's just reminiscent of Shazam's outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think this is really his dad? Like,
my guess would be no, or if it does turn out to be his dad, it'll turn out to be such an asshole that they'll still keep him in the Foster family.
Right. Because I remember before John's relaunched JSA with the whole, Kingdom Come Superman as part of the team. He had the Lightning Saga. He did a story reminiscent of this where Billy's dad did come back, and he basically sacrificed himself to keep the foundations of the Rock of Eternity. And that's what changed Captain Marvel's name officially to Shazam. Because now the Captain Marvel name didn't work, so he'd have to use the Wizard's name. And that's what started all that. So I'm wondering if he's kind of going to run that back, or if he's like, okay, we'll change it ever so slightly.
Yeah. That's when they said, you know what, those Marvel Comics guys are starting to get kind of big. Maybe we should change the name of this character a little bit. Just a thought.
The Big Red Cheese.
Yeah, Big Red Cheese indeed. No, it was delightful. Like, I'm digging the family dynamics. I like the chemistry between all the kids. I like that it's a team book. Sure, it's called Shazam, but he's not really more of a main character than the others, at least not yet.
No.
So
I mean, he is in the first 4 pages, and then that goes away.
Yeah, I feel within a certain amount of time, the meaning of Shazam's going to change to mean the whole team.
Yeah. I even like things like him and Mary arguing about who's the leader.
Yeah.
Well, I'm older. Yeah, well, you only have powers because of me.
Yeah, it's like, what was it first?
great.
Screw you.
Yeah.
No, and there was a backup because this is a more expensive book. It was $5. Has a backup, and we have art here by Mayo Nato.
Sen is what I believe they go by.
Sen, just Sen. Okay.
Yeah, that's what's on the cover credit.
Oh,
as
is
well.
it? Okay, I was looking at the credits page on the backup itself. Sen's easy to say. I'm fine with Sen. I'll go with that. And it's got a flashback to when Mary ran away from home because her parents were, well, shite,
Terrible.
basically. Yeah.
Clearly around Christmas time.
Yeah, around Christmas time, which is nice because obviously the book's out towards Christmas.
Right.
And then she, instead of getting food for herself, she donates to a charity that a Santa's out, busking for, essentially.
Yeah, Salvation Army.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up going to a pet store and she meets what's her face, Darla, and then it obviously it jumps ahead to when she's in foster care, and it's basically, it just ties into the start of the book where they get the call about the museum, so they Shazam up and go off. It's really simple. It's got a really the art style is very children's book.
I loved it.
It's way too anime for me. It's the stuff in anime that I don't like, with the big eyes and the
pointy nose,
same expressions.
No, when the two of them go into costume, on the last page, I thought that was just delightful. That was a fantastic image.
And of course, the joke is that their power hits the rabbit, and the rabbit bounces out of the window with lightning.
Pops away.
Definitely going to be a thing.
Yeah, we're going to have a Shazam bunny.
Also, I do love Freddy telling her, I've always wanted a reason to pull a fire alarm, so let's steal that rabbit. In his book that he's reading too is How to Make Your Own Fireworks. Man, I love the cut of this kid's jib.
Yeah.
I hope this bunny's name is Captain Wabbit.
No, it's Hoppy.
His superhero name.
No.
Can't use his real name when he's out in the field.
I know, crypto's just crypto.
Shut up.
Do you know what? I would pay $5 for this every month if we get one of these backups for all of them.
I mean, yeah.
It'd be fun to explore Darla's story. And
I think any of the kids, if the backups are that you highlight all the various family members and give them a bit of spotlight,
just one each, right?
Yeah.
I would be okay with that. I doubt that's what we're getting because they're not going to want the book at $5 the whole time.
No, but see, this is the thing. If you're going to charge that much for a book, I feel like I'm getting well worth an extra $1. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm happy to pay it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
No, the backup was fun. Oh, obviously, I like the main story more, but the backup was fun. I think the art suited the fact that they were younger, or at least Mary was younger for the first, half of
it.
Yeah. So it suited the younger focus of it. I don't like the art as much as the main art, admittedly, though. I don't despise it as much as Matt did. Or maybe despise is too strong a word.
Well, yeah, it's not my thing. I read it fine, but if that was the main look of the book going forward, I probably would drop. Just because.
Given if Johns was still writing it, you'd just drop the book because of that art.
Maybe.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm a lot of talk.
These are lies.
Guys, we know this.
Like I just said, though, I think the art suited it better when she was a young kid. Once they grew up, once it was present day again, and it was them turning into their costumes, I actually think that's where the art kind of falls a little bit because it feels so different to the rest of the book, even though it should have changed back.
I think it's actually in the coloring.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I really liked the coloring.
There's an extra muted layer in the flashback level, and then it becomes more block and defined in the last couple of pages of it.
I think it worked really well for the flashback part of it when she's a little kid. I think it gave it this dreamy, childlike, Christmassy feel that worked for it. So,
yeah.
But no, it was solid. Set us up. I'm looking forward to reading this every month. We have a monthly John's Comics, guys. This is not a drill.
Yeah.
For now.
Shazam.
It's a happening.
Remember DDO saying that we were waiting for the team? Was it Johns and Eaglesham, or you think he was just blowing
I don't know
smoke?
if it was Eaglesham. I think they were waiting on Johns.
I think it was definitely waiting on Johns, and he's been tied up, right?
Yeah.
That's why we've not had anything from him.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it was Johns, and I think this is this.
I don't know if Eaglesham was the one artist, although I mean, could have been. He was probably on the short list.
I mean, he's doing 3 Jokers now as well, so he is working on multiple books. I feel like if he has the one ongoing and then 2 minis that he's doing at any given time, that might be the new kind of status quo going forward. but he's yeah. So I guess we'll rate Shazam then. Matt, what are you giving it?
This is a 9. This is a whole lot of fun.
No, I'm going with a 9 as well.
Yes, I will also agree with the 9. We were unanimous on Shazam, so that's cool.